Hello, this is Dale Stanek. I want to thank everyone for joining us this evening for our April safety conference call. I know we usually have this in the afternoon, but we've had a couple of drivers ask that if we could start doing it in the evening, they would be able to join, so we're looking to accommodate that, hoping to get more participants. Joining me on the call today will be Jason O'Brien, our Hours of Service Manager, and then we have Don Lehmiller. He works in our Heavy Haul Division, and he's part of the Driver Advisory Board. So, getting to it here, let's get started off. I want to update us on our CSA scores here. I will start with the CSA scores for BME. So our unsafe, if you hadn't heard, did go down this last month. We went from 64% to 53%. I'd like to thank everyone for their efforts to make that happen. And our hours of service, unfortunately, did go up from 68 to 70%. Vehicle maintenance dropped 1% from 83 to 82. Driver fitness, no change at 0%. And our crash dropped 3 percentage points from 51 to 48%. On the government wind secured side, our unsafe was no change. It stayed at 1%. Thank you very much for your efforts on that. Hours of service did increase from 38 to 40%. Vehicle maintenance saw a decrease of 3% from 28 to 25%. Driver fitness, no change at 0. And our crash decreased 2 percentage points from 4 to 2%. Moving along, I want to recognize some drivers who've had clean inspections here in the last 30 days. So Raymond Lawson had a clean inspection from Kentucky. Sebastian Rosario had a clean inspection from Utah. Harry Daigle, a Texas clean inspection. Edward Dingman got a clean inspection in Kentucky. Jacob Bryan had one from North Carolina. William Unberger Jr. had one from Pennsylvania. Richard Irvine, clean inspection from Texas. Dustin Sauger had a clean inspection from Kentucky. Levi J. Miller had a clean one from Arizona. And Mark Watson had a clean inspection from Illinois. I appreciate your efforts in ensuring us getting clean inspections. On the government wind side, we had one clean inspection from Rodney Karsner. Thank you so much for your guys' attention to detail, ensuring that we're getting those clean inspections. On our claims side of the house, I want to go over our first quarter results here. For the first quarter, our goal based on our revenue was $100,707 as far as our total claims. We came in just a little over $72,000, so we were $28,000 under budget. I'd like to thank everyone for what they did to make sure that happened. We are the only Bennett business that is under in that category, so I really appreciate all your efforts to watch out and avoid having accident or cargo claims. As far as claims themselves, as the records show, we've been doing pretty well this first part of the year. This month, we've had 2 accidents that of note. One of our wind drivers got off an exit, and it was too narrow. They damaged the concrete curb, and there was some damage to the tube. Let's make sure on those oversized loads that we're communicating with our escorts and taking care of that stuff before it becomes an accident. And then today, we did have a backing accident at a customer's location. We backed into a car. I would ask that you make sure when you're backing, you're getting out and looking, or you have a trusted guide that can back you up to make sure you're not backing into somebody. I do just want to remind everybody, if you want to either give a safety tip or ask a question, *3, so we can get you into the queue, and you can ask your question right away, *3. All right. The other things I do want to mention a little bit is I've noticed a couple in the last 2 days on the vehicle maintenance inspections that we got from the roadside. We've had a couple drivers get violations for ABS lights not working properly. We had one today, and then we had one yesterday. Let's make sure we're doing thorough pre, mid, and post-trip inspections, and we're getting things fixed as we see them and not putting it off until we get back home. We need to get them fixed as soon as it's noted, please. The other thing that I did want to mention is that CSA scores will be coming out this Saturday. It'll be interesting to see how we land on our unsafe score. We did a really good job last month. This month, I believe we only had about a total of 6 violations rolling off on the BME ACE side, and I know we had either 6 or 7. There was 2 here from ACE drivers. We had speeding, 6 to 10, and then we also had a lane restriction violation. I just want to remind everybody, at no time can you be in a lane that's restricted, regardless of the reason. You have to not be in that lane, either stay in the middle or right lane, regardless. So, moving along, I would like to bring on our special guest, Don Lehmiller. He's joining us tonight. Don has been with ACE for over 4 years now, and he works in our heavy haul division. And Don currently serves on our driver advisory board. Don, how are you tonight?
I'm good.
Hey, thanks. Can you tell us what the driver advisory board does?
Yes, we get together a couple times a year, and we take driver suggestions, complaints, and problems, and we get together with everybody at Bennett and ACE, the president, everybody. We go down into Georgia, and we sit down for a full day, have a meeting, discuss, problems and places where we can improve, driver relations, or if there's billing issues. And then they also run some new tech and new ideas by us to see if, that would be something that would be beneficial.
Oh, cool. Don, hey, can you tell me how many driver members are on the board right now?
Yes. On the A side, we have 3. And then on the Bennett side, they have 11. Now, their driver relief fund and ours are separate, so we have, we all work together, but we are 2 separate units. Oh,
cool. How often do you guys get together, and how long are your terms on the board?
We meet twice a year, usually first quarter or beginning of the second quarter, and then late into the third quarter. The terms of service is like 2 years, but you can go, you can go longer. Some guys go for a year, and it's not their thing, too much commitment. So,
Yeah, it is commitment. You're getting yourself off the road to join those meetings, no doubt. How can drivers voice their concerns to committee members?
They can get a hold of us by our phone numbers. They're listed on Driver IG under the Driver Resources and then Driver Advisory Board. They can also talk to their dispatcher, and they can relay it to us as well.
Cool. I do just want to remind everybody, *3, if any comments or questions you might have. Don, what has been the greatest accomplishment to date for you being on that board?
Getting to help the other drivers. With our relief fund, we're able to help out drivers that are in need due to injury, illness, deaths in the family. We just had one this week. Guy took off for surgery, going to be down for over a month. We ended up picking up his deductions for this month and into next month, so that when he comes back to work, his first paycheck won't just go to all his back pay.
Oh, that is good. I know last year we had phenomenal fundraising events for our Drivers Relief Fund here at ACE. I don't remember how much we raised, but it was substantial.
11. Yes, it was. It was actually more than the Bennett side had raised on theirs. So.
Jason, you thought it was $11,000, or?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was around $11,000 that we raised here, and then ACE as a company matched that with another $10,000 to make it over $21,000.
Wow, that is pretty cool considering the size of our organization. Don, what are some of the current issues members are addressing?
Right now, we are working with Bennett on the hours of service because of the ELD mandate and everything. We are making sure that they know that we would, what hours of service changes we'd like. We know the ELDs are here to stay, but we're going to try to work with Bennett on the, what would you call it, would be legislative side to get hours of service a little changed, make it more conducive to our business.
Yeah, I have heard some proposals on the legislative side. I just know they're proposals at this point, and they haven't gone any further. But, if that kind of stuff does get off the ground, I definitely think it would be beneficial for everyone who drives, no doubt.
Yes, yeah, and they've always been doing it, but now we're trying to get them to communicate what they're doing, so that everybody knows that we're, all in the same fight.
Yeah, a lot of activity kind of happens in the background. People don't realize it until it's done and finished, and then it's, poof, it's here.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you'd like to add, Don?
We have the driver relief fund. I don't know how many people that are listening contribute. You can contribute via each load, a percentage, or just a fixed dollar amount. You can do one-time donations. You can just talk to Cindy down in payroll, and she can do a deduction one time or throughout the loads.
Yep. Mm-hmm. I do know in our newsletter we'll probably start talking about a little bit more when we get closer in the summer. I know we start advertising it here in the office. We'll start talking it too, so we get office contributions also. So. Yeah,
that's one of the good things that almost all of our office personnel, or all of them, do contribute to the driver relief fund, and they don't even get any benefit from it. They're just doing it, because they're good people, and we want to give thanks to them.
That is the right thing to do. Don, I appreciate you joining us so much. Thank you.
No problem. And I'll stay around if there's any questions.
Thank you. All right. Next on our agenda, we have Jason O'Brien. How are you doing tonight, sir?
I am wonderful. Thank you for asking.
What do you have for us tonight?
Well, on the hours of service side of things, we do have some pretty exciting times maybe coming up for us with the International Road Check. It has been set for June the 5th through the 7th, and this year's focus with the International Road Check is hours of service compliance. With it being a category that we're already over the threshold in, and we just increased a little bit this month on, we need to ace this. The ace Doran, pun intended. We want to make sure that we aren't going to get any preventable violations, and with hours of service, most of them are. We need your help, of course, to make that happen. And if anybody has any good hours of service tips that help keep us in compliance, please, *3, let us know. Let other drivers know so we can, of course, work as a team and get those things accomplished. One thing that we've already been mentioning and is making sure your tablet as well as the ELD device, whether you have a Ram McNally or Keep Trucking box or OmniTrack, make sure that it's mounted, and then the portable device that you use, if you have the Keep Trucking or the Ram McNally, make sure that's mounted as well. There are many mounts available. We have one driver that just completely loves his, it's for your cup holder. It goes into your cup holder and holds the tablet, and he's just pleased with that, but it works perfectly, and of course, that keeps him in compliance. It does need to be within view when you do mount it as far as your tablet or phone, so keep that in mind. You don't have to be able to control it when it is mounted there.
I don't mean to interrupt, but yeah, we did. Did you mention we just had a driver a couple of weeks ago on the A side get a violation for not having, I think it was box not mounted correctly?
His box was not mounted. He just had it laying on the floor. Now, a lot of drivers do have it behind their seat, and they'll just use Velcro to attach it to the plastic behind the seat on the outside wall of the cab. It's, an easy way to be in compliance is to do something like that. His was just laying back there, and we did get a violation for that.
Yeah.
I feel like, of course, it goes without saying that we need to stay within the 14, 11, and 8-hour clocks, 70-hour clocks as well. Those are all 7-point violations per occurrence, and that can add up really quick for a company. False alarms, of course, if you're misusing personal conveyance, are also 7 points, and we want to, of course, avoid those preventable points as much as possible and try to stay within those hours, of course.
Oh, and the other thing, I don't know, but last month we had a driver whose box was down. He failed to inform us, and he was just running on paper on his own accord. Obviously, you can't do that. You need to let us know because you only have a maximum of 8 days to be on paper when you're an ELD compatible truck, correct?
Well, that's right. We do have up to 8 days to be on paper, but of course the idea is if your box is broken, it's not working for whatever reason, you want to call immediately. A lot of times we can fix it right over the phone right then, and then we're good to go. If not, and we do have to take it to the next step, per regulations, you would need to send in a letter basically saying that your box isn't functioning, and for whatever reason it's not functioning, we need to have that on file in your driver file. and then we'll get a replacement box sent out to you overnight, so we can, the same day, so tomorrow we can get you back up and running. We're definitely not trying to push the limits on any regulation anywhere. So we'd fix that quickly. The problem that we run into if you don't let us know is that you probably aren't going to have your past 7 days, and that's a 5-point violation. And then you're going to, man, there was one other thing. You won't have your 7 days if you don't tell us. We won't have the letter. And we won't be sending you a replacement. So if we get to the end of the 8 days and you don't have a new box and you've been running paper for 8 days, then you will just have to be in noncompliance until we can get a box out to you. And nobody, of course, wants to do that.
True. If you don't mind, just a reminder, it's *3 for questions or safety tips. I am giving out $25 gift cards, so please *3. Queue is pretty wide open. There's only one person setting, so please *3 questions or safety tips. Anything else, Jason?
I sure do. There are some other things that sometimes we forget about. So if you are on electronic logs, make sure you have an extra log book. That's another regulation. You do have to have logs in case your box does go down, which that would be a 5-point violation. And then make sure that you certify your logs. And this is something that's kind of changed. Usually through orientation, we would tell people always to certify today, tomorrow. That is not acceptable anymore. That's changed. You always want to certify your log now at the end of your shift when you're done driving for the day. So that's a little bit different. So make sure that we're doing that, certifying at the end. And then the most common violations, of course, are general form and manner violations. Those are all worth 1 point. But make sure that you have your trailer in there and your trip information, or if you're on paper, you're writing down your truck number and things like that. They're small, but if those things add up, should we get a lot of those form and manners. And the other most common violation. So if you do have any other safety tips or best practices for hours of service, press *3. We'd love to hear from you.
While we're waiting for a few calls to join in, our monthly reminder, it is a couple days away from the end of the month. If you are due an inspection this month, please get it done now and get it turned in. I know a lot of our drivers seem to wait the last day or the day after, and it just causes a lot of frustration just because there's so many coming in and we got to get them all updated. So please get it done now and get ahead of that curve. I appreciate that. The other thing I did want to mention is if you do have a roadside inspection and for some reason there is a violation, a vehicle violation, please make sure you are turning in the proof of repair. I know a lot of our drivers return in the inspection, but no proof of repair. We are required to have that on file for up to on file for a year up to the violation date. So please make sure you're turning that in. Also, if you fixed it yourself, please note that and take a picture so that we can have that on. So without further ado, just remember *3 for questions or safety tips. We do have one individual in queue here. Charles, are you with us? Charles?
Yes.
How are you tonight?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Doing well. Do you have a question or a safety tip?
Well, the question I have is about, you said about certifying their logs every day. I mean, I don't think I understand what you're talking about.
Well, I think with your system, Charles, is going to say verify rather than certify with being on OmniTrax, but that's where you're basically doing your digital signature for the day.
Yeah, I don't know that. I'm still not sure whether with this, with this OmniTrax thing. I don't see where I said verify. Or I know you have approve. Do I have to approve that log every day? Is that what you're saying?
Right. You're just approving it, saying that those were the hours that you drove for the day, and you're accepting that. It's the same as like signing a paper log when you would hit that approve button. So if you don't approve them, then it would be like having a log with no signature.
Oh, because I haven't been doing that every day. I've been doing my logs every day, but keeping up with that. But then, in a few days, and it says I need to approve my logs, then I approve them all. But I should need to approve them every day. That's what you're saying now? Right.
Well, yeah, you should have always been just doing that each day to keep it up to date. if, like, you got a roadside and the DOT officer noticed that, then that would be like a 1-point violation for each day. That wasn't That wasn't.
It wasn't approved.
Mhm.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't know that.
Oh, well, and that's okay. I'm glad you learned it today, and that way we can do it the right way in the future.
Yeah, I'm not sure that there's probably more than just me that doesn't understand that.
I know, and that's why I really appreciate you saying that, because I'm sure many people don't do that, and hopefully we shed the light on a couple other people as well, so they know they can get that done each day now as well.
Okay. All right, that answers the question.
Great. Well, thank you, Charles.
All right, thank you.
Bye. Next in the queue, it looks like Sean.
Yeah.
Sean, are you with us? How are you?
I'm pretty good. How are you doing?
We're doing well. Thank you for calling. Sean has been with us a week now.
Yeah.
Week today.
Yeah, actually, a week today. Hey, I don't run the electronic log, but I know you're saying you got to verify them. Do you guys need the paper logs to be drive axle to the company every day too, or is it still you send them all up at once a week, or what's the best bet for you guys since I run paper?
Well, with the older trucks, if you're just running paper.
Yeah.
The idea with that, of course, is that the regulations say you have 13 days to turn those in. If you wait 13 days, a lot of times you might go into noncompliance if they don't get processed before the 14th day for some reason. So you can send them in as often as you'd like. We definitely have drivers that send them in every day. If you want to send them in like every Wednesday or every Friday, so you're doing it once a week, that would be okay. But I probably wouldn't recommend, taking it out to like 13 days, because then you'll go into noncompliance. The computer automatically does that, and then it's like you'll call to get a load and need an advance, and then it's like the dispatchers are calling and sending you over to us, and then it's like a bunch more work to try to get you out of noncompliance until we get those logs in. So find just a method that works for you, whatever makes you comfortable, just so long as they're in within 13 days.
Okay. Yeah, I was going to do it once a week, but I wanted to make sure you guys didn't need like a proof signature like you do on the electronic log, where I sign mine with my paper. If you needed it every day. I just wanted to make sure it was still kind of set up the same way.
Yes, it sure is.
Okay. And the other question I had was the proof of repair. Now, if we do a lot of our own repairs, are you just wanting the receipts of the parts that I used, or?
Yep, that would suffice, and then you can just write on the inspection that I fixed, these items, and then show the receipts.
Okay. Now, at the last company I was at, and I meant to ask this last week when I was in orientation, I had to sign a paper stating that I worked on my own stuff. Do I have to do that with ACE also, that I do a lot of my own work? Or?
No, I don't require that.
Okay.
A lot of our owner-operators do their own repairs, so as long as I have the proof, receipts showing you bought the items, and then, you fixed it.
All right, I can do that.
All right.
All right, that's all I got. That right there.
Thank you for calling in, Sean.
Thanks, Sean.
All right. Right now, the queue is open. If you have any additional questions or safety tips, *3. Still have a couple of $25 gift cards I'm giving away tonight, so go ahead and dial in. While we're waiting for a few more questions, I did just want to look at our second quarter as far as our accident claims. So the month of April, we're sitting pretty good here. We've only had, it looks like, a little over $9,000 worth of claims so far this month, so we're well hell to go. I appreciate, like I said earlier in the program, everyone's attention to preventing accident and cargo claims, so please keep up the good work. All right. *3 if you have any comments or tips. All right, it looks like we have a couple of people coming into the queue right here. We'll go ahead and go. Hayden, are you there?
Yes, I am.
How are you this evening?
I'm good. I got a question about, like, when we're at home and we're away from our truck and we've been gone for 7 or 8 days, like I parked my truck 30 miles from my house,
Yep.
do we still got to go to our truck and do our logs every day? I mean, or every 7 days, or, we have to go in there and certify them?
Hey, Hayden, this is Jason, and that's a great question. And the answer to that is sort of yes, but not really. You do have to certify every day for your log, just like every day you'd have an off-duty log, even though you might be able to make one log for a month. With what you can do with Rand McNally, you go to the website, connect.randmcnally.com. Your username and password is your driver ID number, and then BGME-PROD is the company code to log in. You can schedule that 7 to 8 days off there all at one time, so it's taken care of with one swoop. If you don't, when you come back, say if there was a day that you weren't able to get, so you were gone for 9 days, then you'd have to log online and get that day online still certified. If you do it after the fact, though, you have to do 1 day at a time, whereas if you do it before, you can schedule it for multiple days.
Okay, so I can call in and I didn't write all that stuff down. You just told me.
What? No, that's totally okay. I got your name down here when you asked the question, and I'll send you out instructions on how to do that stuff in a PowerPoint.
Okay, because, like I said, sometimes we're off for 3 weeks. I'm not going to my truck every day,
Well, yeah, and I don't want you to. I want you to enjoy your time off.
Okay, well, thank you.
No problem.
Thank you.
Bye.
All right, we have another caller in the queue, a friend of the show, Don Phillips. How are you?
Good evening. How y'all doing today?
Doing well. Don, how are you doing today?
Well, I've been down there in Galveston for a while. I've been warm, but we're back up here in the cold country now.
Oh, you must be in the Midwest.
Kansas, Oklahoma. Yeah.
I don't know if people know this, but you serve on the Driver Advisory Board too, Don, don't you?
Well, since you let it out of the bag, yeah, I guess I am. That's one of the things I wanted to talk about real quick, briefly.
Okay.
We've taken one more brick out of the wall between us and Ace, Dustin Bennett, being in the wind division. As we speak, Tony Parson, Mr. Jim Collins, Dale, and Paul, both y'all, have instituted a suggestion we had as far as being able to have people transfer out of the heavy haul of Ace into the wind division.
That is correct.
Big thing. We've been kind of a secret for a while. We've talked about this, and I guess we're out in the open now. But at times during the year, especially this year, we've had a very slow first and second quarter. We're going to have to make up our complete year, the third and fourth quarter, which is supposed to be just crazy as everything.
Yep.
We have empty trailers available, and we already have one man going through the motion now of changing, not really his lease, but I guess there was a new lease involved, but his DOT numbers coming from the heavy haul, from Ace, he's going to be pulling his first load here pretty quick. He's about rigged out and all. He's over on the wind division of Ace now. And like I say, we'd rather pull out of our backyard as far as new drivers, new owner-operators, new contractors. There's a lot of them that are as qualified, if not more qualified, than what some of our guys are. So it's good to know that we've opened up that door, and it's good to know that the team of the four people mentioned are working towards that.
Yes, indeed.
I don't know if anybody else would be interested in the heavy haul. Our work is sporadic, especially this year.
Yeah.
But it's a step up, I believe, revenue-wise and everything else. So just throwing it out there.
It's just, yeah, you're right. As far as your time on, I know a lot of you guys haven't worked continuously since, about December?
December 23rd is when I came in, yes. I've had 4 little short loads since then. But there again, we know how it works at the end of the year. We're going to make our year up. But it's going to be in the last 2 quarters.
You got to do it in 6 months.
Yes. And but there is a program in place, and y'all are doing it as far as the training and everything else. So people can move up from the Ace Heavy Haul side on a short course to get them in there on the wind, if they're interested in it. Like I say, before there was a little bit known between one division to the other. Well, we're trying to work on that. There's a wall been there, and y'all have heard me preach about that. And we're trying to get it down one brick at a time, and we've made great success this week.
That is true. I appreciate you calling in, Don. I know you've been an advocate of that for quite some time since I've known you.
Well, we don't tell everything we know, but I appreciate it, guys. Y'all doing a good job.
All right. Thank you, Don. You have a good evening. All right. It looks like we have an additional call that's popped up in the queue. Anthony, are you with us?
Yes.
How are
Yes,
you
I'm
doing
here.
this evening?
Doing great.
Do you have a safety tip? Question?
Well, I just wanted to make a comment about the driver relief fund. Back in September, I had a heart attack and was off work for a while, and they really helped me out. So anybody out there thinks that it's just bogus, it's not. And as soon as I can get things straightened out, I'm going to start donating to it myself.
Oh,
But
you know,
it's a great program.
that is great to hear. I know we take that all to heart here. Like I was telling Don earlier, usually about July or August, we start sending stuff out here around the office to start increasing awareness to get fundraising going. And then I know we have a big kickoff during Driver Appreciation where we do raffles and other things to help get additional funds raised. But it's a very worthwhile cause for sure.
Yeah, it really helped me out in a bad time. So just wanted to, and I encourage everybody to do it because you never know when you might have to have it.
All right. Cool. Did you have anything else tonight?
Excuse me?
Do you have any other questions or comments?
No, that's it.
All right. Well, thank you for calling in. All right. Looks like we have an additional caller who came in. Looks like Scott. Are you with us? Oh, I'm sorry. It's Glendon. Glenn?
How y'all doing?
I'm doing well.
Hey, I just want to say y'all are doing a pretty good job. I kind of enjoyed these calls, actually. I'm glad y'all did them tonight. I mean, in the middle of the day, they are kind of inconvenient. I try to catch them when I can, and sometimes you get busy, but it works out, really. I mean, it's a benefit all the way around, I think, you know. But my question here is, I hear, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, my question is, I hear people talking about the driver relief fund, and I was wondering what it is we're paying. We have to pay an insurance. I want to know what that covers because I've never really spoke to a driver that's utilized it, and I was wanting to know what are you familiar with? It's the employment. I'm not really. It's called something, but
it's called occupational accident, and that only works if you have an injury on the job. The driver relief fund will help individuals for non-work-related issues. So in order for OCAC to work, it's going to have to be something where maybe you
hurt loading.
You get hurt loading. If you have a medical issue, I'm trying to think of something.
Well, like Anthony's example of
heart attack. Yeah, heart attack.
Yeah.
It picks up. It helps in that regard. So, and I can tell you, the insurance company definitely investigates the claims. So, if it's not,
I'm not looking to claim anything. I'm just wondering where my money's going to because I hear these guys coming in. I think I'm not being taken care of, but I'm not familiar with exactly what that is anyway because it was just a deal and nobody really elaborated at least on what it actually covered or anything. So
strictly has to be a work-related injury. If it's any sort of medical condition you had, or have had it, they will not allow you to run it through occupational accident. So, but as everyone mentioned, the driver refund there, we're very proud of our efforts to help guys and gals out in the time of need.
No, that's an exceptional thing too in itself. What? How does that work exactly? I mean, I've heard how you want to donate, but what? I guess is there a bank, a treasurer, or something that you know that it's in there? I mean, people are leery of giving. I'll be honest with you. I'm leery of just giving my money out because everybody wants it. You know.
Right. If I'm not mistaken, it is a 501c that we set up here, so the money goes into a fund. Don, are you still on?
Yes, I am.
You know the mechanics of that? I thought it was a 501c, that money actually goes into an account that is offset from any funds that ACE collects here for whatever reason.
Yes, it is. Cindy has access to it. Because she's the treasurer, I guess you would call it, for lack of a better term. And yeah, the driver relief fund is its separate account. It does draw interest, which goes back into the driver relief fund. But yeah, it's not tied to ACE or Bennett direct. You know, it's its own separate little fund. So they're not taking anything off. I believe so. But I'm not 100% sure on that.
If you dumped a fair bit of money into it, it ought to turn into something for some guys out there. I'm young and I'm healthy, I think. You know what I'm saying? But I mean,
that's what we all think.
Sounds like it. Yeah, that's what we all think. But and I say young, that's what I think too. But some people might call me otherwise. But no, I think that's something I'd like to look into further, really. And I think a lot of other people would too if there was a little bit more, you know, in tune with the mechanics behind it and everything. But no, I just wanted to say y'all are doing an exceptional job, and I was wondering about that. I guess occupational health, I was wondering what that entailed too. Yeah. Okay, all right. And that would cover. Go ahead.
We will start sending more stuff out probably in the next April, so probably about June in the newsletter we'll start sending out, just talking about it again. And then how to donate. I know, like Don said, I believe it's by committee. Cindy Gully's on it, Kevin Gibson, and I think there's one other individual who's on that committee who, foresees that. So they have regular meetings to decide who gets dispersed funds and how much depending on the issue.
Yeah, and you can allot however you want to, right? It's $10 a load or $100 any time, first time, only time. However you want to do it, it's whatever you feel comfortable doing.
Yes, it's however you want to do it. You can do it by the load, a percentage, just a one-time fund. Yeah. You can just at the fundraisers. And we don't hold that against people when, somebody has an issue and needs help. We don't hold it against them that they don't donate. It's not that we only give back to the people that do donate. But we do do hope everybody would donate. Mm-hmm.
Well, that's like the last caller. He said that, when he gets on his feet again, he's definitely going to, and I think that's all the way around a good thing. A lot of information is great to us out here, so we just.
Mm-hmm. And if anybody has any questions, they can call any of us that are on the board with any questions at any time. It doesn't even have to be suggestions if they're just curious about how the relief fund's working or anything like that. Mm-hmm. And then on the committee, it is just the drivers that decide the yes or no. Kevin and Cindy are on it, but they don't have any say. They just help with the communication between agents and drivers that are needing help, and they bring it to us. And then it's just all driver-based on the decisions.
I know it's getting late. I got one more thing. That's all, and I'll lead you fellas along. Okay. Hey, there was a driver board that was held last week, I guess, right?
2 weeks ago, I believe.
Okay.
Excuse me.
The driver advisory board you're referring to?
Yeah, the advisory board. Hey, is there any way we could get minutes of that board and see what was discussed and hashed out and agreed upon, I guess? Is there something, because we've got, well, I guess, what's there, 13, 11, 12, maybe 14 drivers that are asking questions and putting in input. Could we find out what those questions are and what the input was and the outcome was?
We don't take minutes of the meeting or anything, and it's I don't want to say it's confidential, but some of the things that Bennett asks us, it's, kind of, I want to say it's, not confidential, but it's kind of, they're trying to get feedback. Yeah. And then, but if those drivers have talked to one of the driver board, they should be getting a call after the meeting on, what they came up with, as a result. And if they're not, then somebody can call me, and then I'll see why they're not getting communicated back to.
I guess the question would really be, there's somebody out there representing us. We'd like to know what they're saying and how it's being dealt with. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's just all I was getting at. I mean, I guess moving forward or being productive, right? Lack of a better word, But I appreciate, like I said again, I won't hold y'all any longer. It's getting late, y'all need to get home. But I appreciate what y'all do, and this is a really, I think, an exceptional program y'all are doing.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. So I think Glenn made a good point there that, we have three representatives on the Driver Advisory Board. They do represent our drivers. So if you come forward to Don Lehmiller or Don Phillips, and I think Jerry Weiss is the other representative, they should get back with you concerning your questions or concern after the meeting so that it's been addressed anyway. So with that being said, we no longer have any questions in the queue. I would like to thank everyone who called in this evening. We had a ton of calls. I appreciate that. Appreciate Don. I appreciate you calling and being our special guest. Jason, thank you for joining. I would also like to point out we have a very special birthday tonight. Patrick Timon, he's our technical support guru who helps us out on all these calls. It is his 28th birthday, and we're making him stay late to work. Thank you so much, Pat. I appreciate your dedication.
Thank you.
All right. Well, Jason, do you have anything else?
Thank you for your time, and just let you guys know, I always do appreciate everything you do for us. If you need anything from me, just let me know. Give me a call.
Yep. I'll just use that same sentiment and echo that. Without you guys, there's no reason for us, so please, any questions, concerns, please call us. We always want to make sure we get you accurate information and make sure you guys are doing well out there, all right? Thank you so much. Good night.